Have you ever had one of those brilliant ideas for an app or a website, but then you just stop because you feel completely lost on where to even begin? Well, you're definitely not alone. And today, we're going to break down that very first step, the one that turns a fleeting thought into a real, tangible plan. Yeah, it's such a common roadblock, isn't it? The idea in your head feels so clear, so exciting, but the path to making it real seems crazy complex. You start thinking about code and design software and all this technical jargon. But what if I told you the starting line wasn't a line of code, but just a line on a piece of paper? So let's dive in. Welcome to the world of digital creation. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you just how accessible this all really is. Now, what's really interesting here is the emphasis on that one word, planning. So many people think digital creation starts with writing code, but honestly, that's like trying to build a house without a blueprint. Real, solid design begins by figuring out the what and the why long before you ever get to the how. And I mean it. Every single app on your phone, every website you visit, it all started right here. Not as some polished, perfect product, but probably as a messy, simple sketch on a napkin or in a notebook. It's just about getting the idea out of your head, not getting it perfect. Okay, so what are we actually trying to accomplish here? Let's lay out our learning goals. Think of this as our roadmap for building your creative foundation. Our path is pretty straightforward. First, we're going to grasp the core concepts so we're all speaking the same language. Then, we'll touch on the key fundamentals that bring those ideas to life. And finally, we'll explore how to unlock your own creativity within that structure. And these aren't just steps on some boring list. They're your creative Legos. Seriously, once you have them, you can combine them and rearrange them in endless ways to build literally anything you can imagine. All right, enough theory, time to get practical. In this section, Ideas on Paper, we're going to turn those abstract thoughts floating around in your head into something real, something you can see. So where do you even begin? This gives us 4 really powerful starting points for your sketchbook. We've got the engine, which represents the code. We've got the blueprint for the layout, the toolkit for all the visual design stuff, and the space for your creative environment. Let's break each one down. First up, the engine. Just sketch in a computer with some code or maybe some gears helps you think about the logic and the structure behind your idea. And listen, you do not need to know how to code to do this. Simply visualizing the how helps ground your concept in reality and makes it feel way more achievable. Next, the blueprint. A wireframe is basically the skeleton of your project. By just sketching out simple boxes and lines like this, you force yourself to focus on the most important thing first. How is someone actually going to use this thing? This is where you solve all the big problems cheaply, right here on paper. And this is where the artistic side really comes into play. Sketching design tools like a pen or a color palette gets you thinking about the visual feel of your product. What's the mood? What's the brand personality? This is where you explore the aesthetics that create that all-important emotional connection with a user. And finally, the space. Creativity doesn't just happen in a vacuum. Sketching your ideal workspace, even if it's just a clean desk with a good lamp, is a way of mentally preparing. It's about thinking through the process and the environment you need to do your absolute best work. So we've explored the concepts and we've walked through the starting points. Now let's talk about what is, without a doubt, the most important part, actually starting your sketch. If you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Don't wait for the perfect idea or for some advanced new skill. The only real barrier to entry is a blank page, and you have the power to conquer that right now with a simple pen and paper. So I'll leave you with this question. What will you draw first? Are you going to sketch the engine, the blueprint, the toolkit, or your creative space? The choice is yours, and that first line you draw, that's the real beginning of your journey into digital creation. So go for it.